Hello, it's Julie with SteamCat, and welcome to Fascinator Friday. Yay! Today I'm going to show you some vintage fascinators and talk a little bit about their construction. So the first one that I've got to show you is very black. I'm pretty sure it's velvet. It might be velour, but I'm kind of thinking velvet. The label says Valerie Modes. I've not been able to trace that, but if I do, I will add it to the bottom of the video. This was blocked on, I think it's some kind of crinoline. And if we go, let's go to this edge. It's hard to tell with the lights. Oh, that's better. You can see where the ribbon's been tacked in and where they have wired it. It's sewn in really well. And yes, it came with this little hat pin. I'm figuring this is probably early 60s, maybe late 50s. This button was just kind of glued on, which, but I'm thinking I can rehabilitate this. There's a little elastics on the side with combs to attach them to the head. So that's one. Next one, I think I bought this on the same trip. This is velour, and it's not in the best of shape. This was sort of an inspiration for the bonbon hat I showed earlier. This is just blocked in Italy. The crown was made in Italy, the body, and Jan Leslie Custom Design, I believe it says in there. Let's see if we can get this to show up. So, yes, I burned it. So I don't know if this can be rehabilitated or not, but I'm going to show you what we've got here because it's falling apart in a few places. There's a bare wire on the inside. It's not even coated or covered. You can see here how the ribbon is attached to the body, and it's probably hand stitched. Some of it's hand stitched, some of it might actually have been machine stitched. There's a couple of different stitches in there. If you look right there, you might see them. Anyway, this has combs, and they're attached with rubber, elastic. The top is a cute bow, but it's coming apart down here. You can see where it was attached. I don't know, that just might be the edge of that bow. It's hard to tell. No, it is coming apart. There's where it's coming apart, right there. I'm sorry, these are black and they're, really hard to show. My next ones will not be black. So I don't know if this one can be rehabilitated or not. There was some veiling on it, basic veiling. And, it's possible I could make a cute little cocktail hat out of this. We'll see. Now, these next hats were given to me by some friends. And this one is kind of cute. It's a 19, maybe late 50s, early 60s again. I think all of these are in that era. Little Fascinator. I could see this being worn on, the back of the head. Little rhinestone there in the front, kind of cute. Oh, several little rhinestones actually around the edges. It's raffia, pink raffia, kind of pink peaches. I guess I would call it pink. And there was a head wire inside that wasn't tacked in very well. It's just kind of there. That can be fixed. The head size ribbon's in really good shape. And then these were to hold it to your head. They're wire covered in a bias. Well, no, in ribbon. Wire covered in ribbon. See if you can see that. Hard to see, but these would, you could, crunch them into the side of your head, or you could put a bobby pin through those. That's how they attached one way they attached hats. I think this could be steamed up and cleaned up a little bit and make a good resale. These next two are slightly related, and I didn't realize how close before I pulled them both out today. Lots of stuff coming out of these. This is a little open crown fascinator. The edge is a couple of rows of trim. I don't know if you can see that. Let me turn this light down just a tiny bit. Maybe that will not blow this out. Oh, there we go. And then my camera goes, hi, I'll compensate. There's a couple of rows of trim on here and several cute little bows that are made with ribbon, stiffened ribbon, and a little bit of eye veiling. And the inside, what's kind of holding it together, is some very stiff net that was shaped. And there's 2 rows of it. I don't know if you can tell, but there's 1 row of netting that goes to here and another row that goes to here. Gives it a little bit of an open crown. And then this is all covered in veiling. And again, there's a little bit of an eye veil there. And it's kind of cute. I don't know if I can get this cleaned up and fixed for resale. There does not appear to be, notice how wiggly that is. There's no ribbon. There we go. We got it open. There's no ribbon in there. It's just all structured with the stiffened net there. It's kind of a net. It's very heavy, but it's probably been stiffened with something. Okay, we're done with that one. Now, this is a hat that has flummoxed me for a long time. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to do anything with it, but I'll show you why these got me going on an idea. A friend gave me this, and she'd found it at a Goodwill store. And it's an open crown hat, but it was made by Stetson. And this is their old store at 1224 Chestnut Street in Philadelphia. It was the other side of their factory at the time. And I have a note inside. I think this store and factory closed sometime in the 60s. So let's go back to the outside. Notice there was some netting on here, and we'll talk about that in a minute, veiling. This is satin probably that was cut on the bias and swirled around and tacked down. You can see one spot here where it was tacked down. And that, along with some stiffened lace on the inside, gives it some structure. And there's also, I can feel it, you can kind of see where it was stitched down here. There's your head size wire, and there's another wire up here. I can feel it. It's covered in bias satin. So that's what gives it the structure. But I was trying to figure out, what did this look like? You know, there are open crown hats where the head is open, but that seemed a little weird. And you can see this is really dirty. I don't know if I can ever, it's stained. I don't know if I can ever get it cleaned up. But I think it's a good example of a hat making technique, which is why I'm holding on to it. However, here we go. Note this guy. See the open crown and the veiling and how it goes over the top? I'm thinking, just by the way the veiling had been tacked on in here, that this probably had veiling that went over the open crown. I could be wrong, but there's where some of it was tacked in. But if you look, I mean, there was a gather here of the veiling. But if you look really close at this, it's hard to tell. But it's the veiling, which is coming off, has been tacked in along the head size wire. I don't know if you can see that. So I think it went either all or mostly around the edges, because as I look around here, I see where veiling has been tacked in. So I'm thinking it probably went like this guy over the top of the head size wire, and not the head size wire, the top wire, crown wire here, and was probably gathered at one point to give it some interest. So if any of you have, I've been looking, I've never found a hat exactly like this, but if any of you can identify this, please leave me a comment, because I am still a bit flummoxed. Here's another place where the veiling was tacked in, and there's a string going along here, which makes me wonder if there was veiling on the top and another piece that went across that way. I don't know, but it's a fascinating construction for a hat, so I'm holding on to it. I don't think it will ever be in shape to resell, but I might want to recreate it at some point. So we'll see. So that is it for Fascinator Friday. I hope you enjoyed the departure here, all the veiling that's coming off and the crud. Please like and subscribe, share and enjoy, and we'll see you another time for Fascinator Friday.